Chapter 24. Talent. "I play sometimes," Junior explained as he led James and Bruce along a damp path towards a floodlit football pitch. "But to be honest, I'm a bit out of shape." It was 7 at night, and James had sobered up, but the beers had left him with a headache. "I'm not surprised you're out of shape," James grinned. "The amount you smoked and drank today? It's a miracle you can walk." "These are nice guys you're going to be meeting," Junior explained. "They put a lot of money my way, but don't mess with them. Especially Sasha." "Who's Sasha?" Bruce asked innocently. "Serious gangster," Junior said. "I'm okay with him because he goes back to my dad in the old days, but he's ruthless. He was in a country pub one time, and this dude he bumped into called him a clumsy wanker. Sasha had 2 of his boys drag him outside, they tied him to the bumper of a transit van, and drove 5 miles before cutting what was left of him loose." "Shit," James gasped. He'd read many similar stories about Sasha Thompson and the Mad Dogs, but this particular anecdote hadn't appeared in the mission briefing. As they got closer, James saw that 5 teams were training in yellow kits. They ranged from under 11s through to adults, all with Thompson exhaust centers as their shirt sponsors. Sasha Thompson himself sat on a bench wearing football boots and a tight-fitting tracksuit tucked into yellow socks. Every so often he'd cup his hands around his mouth and yell at one of the players. "Jonesy, you tit! You're supposed to be marking him!" Sasha was 46 years old. He'd given up playing football a couple of years earlier because of a dodgy knee. But he kept in shape by running and lifting weights, and he looked hard. His eyes lit up when he saw Junior. "Mr. Moore, how nice of you to join us," Sasha said fruitily. "Can I have a word?" Junior looked anxiously at James and Bruce. "You'd better stay back." But as Junior started jogging, Sasha yelled out, "And bring your 2 little friends." So Junior arrived first, and a couple of Sasha's flunkies shifted over to make space on the bench. James and Bruce stopped a couple of meters in front of Sasha, their trainers sinking into the mud along the touchline. "I had a call from your mum," Sasha said seriously. "She's really upset." "Are these 2 little yobbos the ones who were around your house causing mayhem earlier?" "Yeah," Junior nodded, with a touch of fear in his voice. "Your ma was crying when she spoke to me," Sasha said. "What did you call her?" She says that you messed up at the parole office. She says you missed school and called her a bitch. Is all that true?" Junior shrugged. "Pretty much." "Did you smoke a joint in the house?" James could see that Junior was scared of Sasha. "Yeah," he admitted meekly. Sasha grabbed Junior by the back of his neck and squeezed tight, making his head tilt back in spasm. "When he got sent down, your dad said you were trouble and asked me to keep an eye on you," Sasha growled. "I asked him how far I could go, and he said slap the piss out of him if you have to. But that's not a place you want to go with me. Is it, Junior?" "No, boss," Junior croaked. "Buy your mother a bunch of flowers and count yourself lucky that Mr. Ormondroyd at the parole office is an old friend of mine. He won't be writing you up for bunking school." "Thanks, Sasha," Junior said, half smiling as the hand slipped from around his neck. Sasha looked up at James and Bruce. "And which hole in the ground did you 2 crawl out of?" he asked nastily. "James is an old mate," Junior explained. Did I ask you? Sasha snapped. Junior brought us here, James explained. We got moved back round this way after a spell living with our aunt in Scotland. All right, Sasha said, waving a hand in front of his face. I didn't ask for your bleeding life story. You upset Julie Moore, who happens to be one of my oldest friends. So you'd better stay away from her, away from Junior, and out of my face. James could feel the mission falling apart before his eyes. Sasha had taken an instant dislike to him and Bruce, which put his chances of infiltrating the Mad Dogs on a par with his chances of winning the lottery 2 weeks running. Why are you still here? Sasha said, as he made a walking motion with his fingers. Scoot before I get my boys to rearrange your heads with a crowbar. Come on, Sasha, Junior grovelled. They're mates of mine. They haven't done nothing. Did I ask you, Junior? Sasha said again. Maybe you'd be a better judge of character if you didn't put so much shit up your nose. But Junior gave it one more shot as James and Bruce turned away. Remember when Crazy Joe's Ford Mustang got burned out? Junior asked. That was James and his stepsister. This was like flipping a switch. Sasha's face lit up, and he even got off the bench. Hey, kid, where you going? James turned around and was surprised to see Sasha coming forward and reaching out to shake his hand. You're the dude that burned out Crazy Joe's Mustang? That was the funniest goddamn thing that ever happened. I laughed so hard I almost pissed my pants. We all did, didn't we? Sasha turned to look back at the hard men sitting on or standing around his bench. They all started nodding and laughing, and before James knew it, the most notorious members of Sasha's crew were lining up to shake his hand. Keith Moore took a bit of a shine to you, didn't he? Sasha asked. James was with me in Miami when Dad got busted, Junior said. We might have got killed if James hadn't broken out and called the cops. Sorry, kid, Sasha said. I didn't realise you knew Keith. I just thought you were some dickhead Junior met at the parole office this morning. As the big man laughed and squeezed James's hand, he remembered Kyle's comment that he wouldn't wish him luck because he was so jammy that he wouldn't need it. So, are you football men? Sasha asked. James shrugged. I can kick a ball, but I'm pretty crap. My cousin here's not bad. Sasha turned to Bruce. What age are you? 14, Bruce said. What position? Midfield, or on the wing, but I'll play anywhere except in goal. Sasha looked at his watch before pointing across the pitches. The under-15s are over there. There's about 40 minutes of the session left if you want to take a shot. It's slippery, so you'd better grab some spare boots from the clubhouse. Bruce preferred kicking people to kicking balls, but he reckoned getting into one of Sasha's teams would be a big boost for the mission. I don't mind giving it a go, he shrugged. I've got nothing else going on. What about you, James? Sasha asked, as Bruce headed into the clubhouse to find some boots. You look like a strong lad. I've seen him play, and I wouldn't get too excited, Junior said. Besides, these are the proper teams, James. You should play in the Sunday League side with me. It's total carnage, and way more of a laugh. Sunday sounds good, James nodded. I could handle that. Sasha looked disappointed. It's not serious football, but if your heart's not in it. A few minutes later, Bruce was over on the far side, trying out with the under-15s. Sasha was back on the bench, yelling at the Mad Dogs' first team, whilst James and Junior had moved 20 metres along the touchline to chat with a couple of Sasha's associates. One was a 28-year-old named Savas. The other, a 19-year-old who was called David, but everyone knew him as Wheels. James had read their police files while he was preparing for the mission. Savas came from a poor Turkish background. He trained as an accountant, but his career nosedived when he got a 4-year stretch for heroin smuggling. Wheels had been a teenage go-kart champion, but his parents weren't rich enough to pay his way into single-seat racing, so he turned his talents into a career driving getaway vehicles. Despite a reputation as a drug user, gambler, and a complete head case, the only thing the cops had ever pinned on Wheels was a speeding ticket and a £75 fine for peeing in the street. "Can one of you boys put an earner my way?" Junior asked. "I'm flat broke." Wheels and Savas both sucked air through their teeth. Savas pointed at Sasha. "I've got plenty of ways for you to make money, but not unless the big man gives the okay." "Same here," Wheels said. "Come on," Junior begged. "Just give me a couple of grams of coke to sell, or a bag of weed. There's tons of little rich kids in my school who I can sell it to, and they're dickheads, so I can charge way over the odds." "Speak to the man," Savas said firmly. "He's let you do stuff before." "I know," Junior nodded. "But only little stuff. And if I ask Sasha now, he's going to rip my head off." "What about me?" James asked. "You got something for me?" Savas shook his head. "I don't know you from Adam." "Yes, you do," Junior said. "He's the guy who did Crazy Joe's car." "Yeah, 2 years ago," Savas sneered. "No offence, James, but for all we know, you grassed on half of Scotland while you were up there." In contrast, Wheels seemed keen to work with James. "I'll take you out and show you a few tricks," he said. "I could do with a dog's body. And you look as if you can handle yourself." "Seriously?" James grinned. "What about me?" Junior whined. "I need money so bad." "Yeah, right," Savas snorted. "With your mum driving a 70-grand Mercedes and a 2 million trust fund." "I don't need money when I'm 21, Junior spluttered. "I need money for this weekend." Junior's argument was going around in circles, and Savas was losing patience. "So go and speak to Sasha. Nobody's going to go against what he says." "You're all tossers," Junior moaned, as a football sailed over their heads. "You all want me wrapped in cotton wool. I'm not a baby." Despite his claims to maturity, Junior flounced off like a 5-year-old who'd had his sweets taken away. Then he turned back, annoyed that James hadn't followed. "Are you coming or not?" Junior asked. This was an awkward moment. James had to balance his friendship with Junior with the fact that Wheels was offering him some action. "Coming where?" James said. Junior pointed towards a row of terraced houses at the far side of the playing fields. "I might as well go over to Sasha's house and get warm." James looked eagerly at Wheels. "Were you serious about putting some money my way?" "If you're up for it," Wheels grinned. "But there's no rush. You go over to Sasha's with the spoiled brat, and I'll catch up later." James was slightly mystified. "Does everyone go over there?" Wheels nodded. "Sasha's got a big old basement, and the crew always hangs out there after football." "Right," James said. "Guess I'll see you over there." But as he started walking towards Junior, he heard Sasha shout Bruce's name. "Jesus, Harold Christ!" Sasha yelled. "Will you look at that little fella run?" James turned towards the pitch, where a practice game had started between the under-15s and under-17s. Bruce was the smallest kid on the pitch and wore boots 2 sizes too big for him, but he was running on goal with a beanpole defender and the keeper to beat. On campus, Bruce rarely played football, but the speed and coordination he showed fighting in the dojo translated beautifully onto the floodlit pitch. The football seemed glued to his foot as he spun around and delicately chipped the ball into the air, then vaulted the defender's clumsy tackle. The keeper closed down the angle, but Bruce kept his cool. He tapped the ball onto his knee and then volleyed into the right-hand corner of the net. Junior had seen the whole thing and came running back to James on the touchline. "Holy shit!" Junior yelled. "Did you see that? Your cousin walked the entire defense!" James had heard kids on campus begging Bruce to join their team, but it was only now that he actually saw why. Bruce stopped running and gave a casual shrug as his muddy teammates steamed down the pitch to hug him. "Genius!" Sasha was yelling as he jumped in the air. "That kid is pure genius."